Hello Divi Nation and welcome. This is Divi Feature Update Live coming to you every Monday at 6 a.m. Eastern. So what we do on Divi Feature Update Live is to go through the features that will have been released, to go in detail and make sure that we cover everything that we need about that feature to help you utilize and use these features in your own designs. Today, I'll be talking about the Divi email opt-in module. It has a few updates. Now, this hasn't been released recently. It's been released a few weeks ago, but I feel that it's important that we go through these features because they may be something that you might have left out. Okay, so if you haven't used this feature before, we only supported 3 autoresponder companies, but now we've added 17. So this makes the process of building your email list much easier because we have a lot more options to choose from. Now, as well as that, we also have what are known as success actions. Right, so let me explain what these are. These success actions are an action that you can add onto your email opt-in module. When someone subscribes, they can be redirected to a specific page. So this could be a deal page, it could be a download page, it could be a thank you page. So today in this episode, I'll be showing you how to set up your email opt-in using MailChimp. And then after that, we're just going to create a basic thank you page and use this, setup, and also set up the success action. So that's what we'll be going through today. But before we get started, I'd like to go through the list of the 17 supported new providers. Okay, so if we take a look here, we can see that we have ConvertKit, we have MailerLite, we have Mailster, Infusionsoft, MadMimi, Ontraport, iContact, HubSpot, GetResponse, FeedBlitz, Emma, Constant Contact, Sendinblue, ActiveCampaign, Salesforce, Campaign Monitor, MailPoet. So you can see that this is a large list. So hopefully you'll be covered because this pretty much covers the most popular autoresponder companies out there. Okay, so before we get started, I'd like to say also, please do ask your questions in the comments box and I will do my best to respond to those questions as we proceed with this live show. Okay, so if you've been watching this show for a while, you know I'd like to give a lot of shout outs to people that have signed in. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to go over here to Facebook. And by the way, we are broadcasting on YouTube and also on Facebook. All right, so here already, a lot of you have tuned in. We have Mohin. Mohin says hello. Hello to you. We have Nicholas, Uncle Social. We have Roman, Titan, Claudia. Claudia says, hi, Mac. How you doing? We have a Russian name here. Oh, sorry, from Ukraine. But I can't pronounce that. I'm really sorry about that. So, okay, we have Beth. We have Martin, Olan. Oh, we've got Daryl Wilson too. Awesome. Uncle Social. Davey Owens. Stephen Smith from New York. Caesar from Spain. Awesome, awesome. We have Dr. Dryhammer from Greece. Awesome. Thank you very much for tuning in. In fact, before I get started, let me go over to Facebook and let's see who's tuned over here on Facebook. We have Salvo, we have Adam. Adam says, what's up? How are you doing, Adam? Alexander. Awesome. Okay, so let's get started. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to go to a page which I've prepared ahead of time. So this is a page actually which is from our layout pack which we gave away for free. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a brand new section. So I'm going to click this plus button here, regular, and then it's going to be a single row. Right, so here I'm going to add my email opt-in like that. Now, we are not going to be going into a lot of design here. We're just going to be covering the main features of this email opt-in. So I'll just keep it basic. So here is where you can add your title. So you can say, download my free ebook, like that. And then here you can also add the text in the here, so you can say download now. And then you can add a description in here. So I'm just going to copy this dummy text and paste it in here. So ideally, this is where you'd like to add your text that describes in detail why people should sign up for your mailing list. Okay, so now that we have that in place, the next thing I'm going to do is to come over here to email account. Right, so this is where you get to add your service provider. So as I mentioned, those are the 17 that I went through, and the most popular one here is MailChimp. So that's the one I'm going to use for this example. So what I've done ahead of time is I've added my API key, and this is what makes this form work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my MailChimp account and show you how to get this API key. Okay, so over here, I'm on my MailChimp account. So to get your API key, you just have to go to your account over here on the top right and then click extras, and then you'll get your API keys. So my API key is right here. I'm going to highlight it, come back to my website. So what you would do if it's your first time adding this, you need to click on add. Account name, you can just call this MailChimp. And then you paste your API key in here and click submit. Right. So what's happening here is you would need to choose a list. So let me just go back to my account and I'll show you how many lists I have here. So if I come over here to lists, I have these 3 lists. So you have to create your lists beforehand because this is where your emails will be added to. Okay, so I'm going to come back over here, and in this drop down, I'm going to create my list. So I'm going to go for free online marketing tips as my list. So anyone that signs up onto my list will be added onto, anyone that signs up onto this form will be added to this list right here. Okay, so now that is set, we are good to go. Now, let's move on to the next thing, which is the success action. So let me just show you what is here. In fact, before I go there, if you come over here to the fields, you can actually choose to use a single name field like that. So all you have now is your name and email. Okay, so you can adjust that here. Right, so let's go on to the next feature, which is the success action. So over here, if someone fills in their information in this email opt-in, you can either get a message which just says, thank you for signing up. But ideally, you want to have something even more exciting, because if it's download a free ebook, for example, you want to be able to redirect them to a specific page which has the download link or even the book itself. So that helps you build your email list faster, and it's more efficient, rather than just giving a message. So that's what we're going to be setting up today. So what I'm going to be doing here is to just keep things simple, I'm just going to go ahead and create a thank you page, which will have a message on there which tells people what to do next. So let's do that. So I'm going to come over here and create a brand new page. So I'm just going to open this in a new tab. Right, so I'm going to come over here to pages, click on add new. So I'm just going to call this page thank you. Like that, use the Divi builder. And then I'm going to go to my visual builder. Right, so in here, I'm going to add a single column and a text module. Okay, so I'm just gonna say thank you for subscribing. Okay, and then below that, I'm just gonna say here is the link to download the ebook. Okay, and then I'm just going to customize this just to make it look much better. So I'm going to add heading 1 for that. Then I'm going to come over here to design. So for my heading text, I'm just going to make sure that it's centered. All caps. Okay, so that's fine. And then I'm going to come over here to my text, and then I'm going to center it and increase the size and the line height too. Okay, so I'm just also going to add a fake link to download the ebook. But in your case, this needs to be a proper link. Okay, so that's my link. Click OK. Right. So of course you can add, you can add pictures to this, make it all look nice and beautiful. But this is just an example. So I'm just going to click Exit the Visual Builder, save and exit. Okay, so now that I have my thank you page, we can now make sure that we adjust our success action. Now, before I go into the next step, I'm just going to check and see if I have any questions here on Facebook and also on YouTube. So, browser says, can you go over the conditional logic in more detail? Now, I can't do that on this live show because this is specifically the email opt-in module. But what I could do is you can ask me, specific questions, and I can try to respond to any problems that you're having. But this is specifically for the email opt-in module. Joaquin says, why use it instead of Bloom plugin? Okay, so the Bloom plugin is mainly, say, used as a pop-up, which has specific parameters. So let's say, for example, someone comes on your website and they're about to exit. The pop-up comes up and it asks you to add your information. Now, the end goal in this is the same because they're all being added to your autoresponder service. So it's just a different way of collecting that information. But yes, it may the Bloom is mainly for the pop-ups, and also I think that slides on the bottom of your screen. So yeah, so that's the main difference. But the ultimate goal is the same. It's all about building your mailing list. Okay, let me see if I have any more questions here. What fonts are you using? I always wanted to ask this question every time I watch your video. Right now on this website, I'm just using my basic fonts. I think it's Open Sans, so that's the one I use. Have you debugged the conditional logic yet? Can I make it work? I mean, the conditional logic is working. I'm sure you're referring to the contact form module. Yes, that is working fine. Let me see if there's any more questions here. Okay, I'm just going to check on Facebook and see if we have more questions here. Sven says, funny, started setting up MailChimp an hour ago. Perfect timing, Mac. Awesome. I'm glad you can pick up a few tips from this video. Awesome. Okay. If you're just joining us, this is the Divi feature update live, which comes to you every Monday, 6 a.m. Eastern. This is the show where we go in detail over the updates that we announce on our channels, just to help you see in what depth you can use these modules and these updates. Today we are talking about the Divi email opt-in module. It has quite a few updates. For example, we have 17 new email integrations, and we also have a feature called Success Actions, which helps you add a URL redirect after someone signs in onto your website. Okay, just out of interest, how many of you actually are building an email list and also use this email opt-in module? Just as a show of hands, if you can just give me a 1 if you already use this, and a 2 if you haven't started building your mailing list. I'm just curious to find out. Okay. Louise says yes. Okay, awesome. That's very good. I mean, it's advisable to build your mailing list, especially if you sell any products online or you have a business. It makes your marketing much easier, and it makes you communicate with your customers much better. So let's say, for example, you want to send a promotion out there to let your customers know what's coming. You can just use your autoresponder service to blast an email out to all your customers. So this is why it's important to build a mailing list. And let me just check on Facebook and on YouTube and see if Uncle Social has no. Oh, we've got quite a lot of 1s, but we've got quite a few 2s as well. Martin has Titan 2, Timothy. Daryl Wilson says not yet. Alan 1. Okay, brilliant. Right, so let's finalize this and let me show you how to set up the page. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to my page here where we are setting up our success message. So over here, you have a choice between displaying a message and also redirect URL. So we've already created our page, and as I mentioned before, it's advisable that you create the page beforehand because you won't have anything to add in here. So our thank you page here is what we're going to use for the success. I'm going to copy this link and I'm going to paste it here in the redirect URL like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and save. Then we're going to test this. Right, so I'm going to save the page and exit the Visual Builder. Right, so now when your visitors come to your website, you can add the name. I'm going to add my email. Like that. And then I'm going to click download now. Okay, so as you can see, the name now has been added to MailChimp in that list that I specified. And then now it has redirected me to this thank you page automatically. And then I can just go ahead and click to download the ebook like that. So this is how you use the email opt-in module. It is much better than how it was before in terms of the services. We only had 3 autoresponder companies before, but now we've added 17. So I'm pretty sure you will have your company listed on that list. So just to go over that list one more time, I'll just start here from the top. We have ConvertKit, MailerLite, Mailster, Infusionsoft, MadMimi, Ontraport, iContact, HubSpot, GetResponse, FeedBlitz, Emma, Constant Contact, SendInBlue, Active Campaign, Salesforce Campaign Monitor, and MailPoet. So these are the companies that we've just added. So I hope that you can use this email opt-in module to build your mailing list. So I'd like to say thank you very much again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And next week, we will also have this Divi feature update, and we'll be covering more items. So thank you very much for watching. And until next time, take care and enjoy the rest of your week.